Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a 2021 model launch, part of the 140th anniversary of Seiko. The timepiece you see right here is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive SLGA007 Lake Suwa dial, a 2021 piece limited edition in stainless steel. The watch is a handsome and modern update of the Spring Drive automatic. So the timepiece is 40 millimeters in diameter in steel by 12.3 millimeters thick, including only the case. It is 47.3 millimeters lug-to-lug with the solid end links of the bracelet, 51.6 millimeters with a nice broad modern 22 millimeters between the lugs, and you can see Grand Seiko still includes a strap tool slot on each lug so you can more easily swap out if you do want to put a strap on this timepiece. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. And the watch wears well. It's large. It's comparable to something like an oyster bracelet, Datejust 41. So if you can get a sense of how those fit, that's exactly how this fits. It also fits, I would say, comparably to something like a 41 millimeter Omega Seamaster Aquaterra. It is easily low enough to fit underneath a sleeve or cuff, but because the end links do expand it across the wrist, I'd recommend, at least on the bracelet, wearing it on a wrist no smaller than 15 centimeters in circumference. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, it's a handsome piece. Grand Seiko bracelets continue to get better every year. This one in steel features satination across the top. We have flanking links, centers, a staggered link size and alignment. You can see the outer faces are polished. There's a little bit of a rolled bevel on their edge. Removable links are fixed by screws, and then we have a half link. As you can see, we have a half link on each side for fine tuning. We have a single fold deploying clasp. It is a twin trigger release, so you can pop it open like that. There is a yellow gold medallion outboard to let you know this is a special piece with the Grand Seiko logo. The case features curves as well as facets, satin as well as polish. Now the polish that you see here is the Zaratsu tin plate polishing method executed manually on a Zalitz machine by artisans who take about 3 years to learn this art, and the result is that all of these polished facets are mirror smooth and optically perfect, and this is what we would call black polish on components of Swiss watch movements. You just get a lot more of it here. This is very much a handcrafted case. The sides are satinated, the bevels are polished. We have a little bit of a multifaceted lug profile to give it a bit of a mechanical edge, and then satin finished lug hoods with inner bevels that are polished. We have conforming end links that trace the downward slope of the lugs as well as the curve of the case to give the watch a more integrated look. We do have a screw down crown. The watch is over 100 meters water resistant. You can see that the timepiece includes a bezel that has a conical portion that's polished and then a flat portion with vertically satinated striations and brushed pattern. You can also see that the crown is slightly countersunk into the case, so it doesn't stick out quite as much. A thoughtful refinement in the design, and then the dial is really the star here. First thing you'll note, even before the pattern, is that there is no power reserve indicator on the dial. That used to be a contentious feature of previous Spring Drive automatics. Used to be located approximately between 7 and 8 o'clock on the dial. No more. Much more conventional. We have 3 hands and a date. Note the custom typeface that is used for the date. That was developed specifically for Grand Seiko watches. It is not a stock typeface, and they're quite handsome with quite a few serifs, making them a little bit nostalgic in appearance. Now, taking a quick look at the dial, you guys already know this is the Lake Suwa dial, a geographic landmark local to the Grand Seiko studios that assemble these watches. So the dial has a lovely blue color. It's somewhere between cobalt and navy. It's quite dark and perhaps emblematic of lake water. As you can see, there's also a stamped pattern to this dial, so it has the undulations you would expect on a wind-blown lake surface. Now, there's a little bit of a ray-hot outboard that serves as a visual unifier between the dial base and the bezel. And then we have individual indices that are appliques, and you can see that they are both satinated and high polished, and the same is true of the hands at center. Hands, logo, as well as the frame for the date, all are handcrafted using micrometric diamond-tipped tools by artisans who just create these components all day long. Because it is Spring Drive, the watch features a gliding hand with no staggers, no stops. It is continuous. That sets it apart from just about any other watch in the world. Even most high-rate quartz movements do include some sort of a start-stop action, even if you can't perceive it with the eye. This truly is completely smooth. The watch, of course, with the new 9R-A2 movement, twin mainspring barrels, and you can't quite see them here, but you can see that it is a better finished, more attractive look than the old 9R spring drive calibers. First, with twin barrels, it's now a 5-day power reserve rather than the old 3. You can also see that the movement includes a caseback power reserve indicator, so you still get that feature. It's just cloaked from your immediate vision on the dial side. Of course, you have the hacking seconds and the quick set date. Another major change for this generation of spring drive is that the accuracy is now 10 seconds per month, plus or minus, rather than the previous plus or minus 15 seconds per month. So the way spring drive works is there is no motor, there are no capacitors or batteries powering the watch. All of the motion is from the spring. The hands are geared to the spring. There's a lot of mechanical watchmaking in here. The motion of a unidirectional governing wheel wakes up a quartz oscillator. The quartz oscillator then uses electromagnetic force to break the governing wheel, slowing it down or speeding it up as necessary to keep proper time. It is a very sophisticated system, and it is still a technology unique to Grand Seiko. Piaget briefly attempted to emulate it, but gave up, so this remains an exclusive to this brand. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.